Today, boys and girls, I'm going to be reading you a story called Someday a Tree by Eve Bunting. And today I want to talk to you about a strategy that readers use called predicting. And we've done this before. It's when readers make a prediction, they take clues from the text and make a smart guess about what will be happening in the story. Sometimes the clues come from the words, and sometimes the clues come from the pictures. And readers do this all the time. So today I want to practice that skill with you as we read our story. So I'm going to stop at a certain point in the story, and I'm going to ask you to make a prediction, and then we'll find out to see if we're right or wrong. And it's no big deal if you're right or you're wrong. There's no right or wrong answer. Okay, so let's get started. Every afternoon, when the weather's nice, Mom and I and our sheepdog, Cinco, walk across Far Meadow and sit under our oak tree. Dad says the tree may have been here when Columbus came to America. Mom and I bring lemonade or pocketfuls of our small, tart apples, and I gather acorns for my collection. Always we bring briskets for Cinco, and a book for us. Once upon a time in a land far away, Mom begins. Cinco lays his head on his paws and listens too. Our mom and I tell stories. Or Mom and I tell stories. Tell how, just before I was born, you and Dad stopped here one day to picnic under the tree, and you saw that the land and the house were for sale. I stopped for a breath. And we're tired of living in the city, and we bought them. Mom finishes. Tell how I was christened under this tree, I say. Tell how a bird, did you know what, on the Reverend's head? And Mrs. McInery wore a hat with real flowers on it. And the bees came. We roll on the grass laughing, and Cinco rolls and laughs too. On hot days, people drive from the city to often stop to picnic the way Mom and Dad did. We don't mind. Dad says the tree isn't ours anyway, because no one can own a tree. The people spread their blankets and pretend not to be listening to our stories. But sometimes we see them smile. Today I'm doing my favorite thing. I'm laying under our tree, staring up through the leaves. Mom and Cinco are asleep beside me. The clouds change like smoke, and the leaves whisper to them as they pass. I think I hear them whisper my name, too. Alice, Alice. Above my head, a spider sways. Somewhere an owl lives, hidden. Sometimes when the dusk thickens, we hear them call and see his pale shadow. I turn on my stomach and bury my face in the grass. Why does it smell so funny? I sniff. Mom, I sit up. Mom, her eyes open. How come the grass smells like this? I asked. Why is it this weird yellow color? Mom yawns. I expect it's because it has been so hot. We bring Dad to look. There's supposed to be rain tonight, he says. That's probably all the grass needs. But the rain doesn't help. Every day that yellow stain spreads. The grass around the tree is withering. We peer up into the leaves. They are dry and dull and drift down on our upturned faces. It's only spring, but the leaves are falling. Mom puts her hand on the trunk as though she's checking for a fever. Dad kicks at the stiff grass. As if something was spilled here, he says. I think we need to call a tree doctor. When the tree doctor comes, she crumples one of the fallen leaves and scoops a sample of dirt from around the trunk. "Is the tree very sick?" I whisper. She touches my cheek. "I need to run some tests before I'll know for sure." Keep thinking good thoughts, honey. 4 days later, we find out that our tree has been poisoned. "But who would do a thing like that?" Mom cries. Dad's face is grim. Maybe someone dumped chemicals they weren't supposed to dump. Maybe it was quicker and easier to unload their stuff here by the road. I don't understand about chemicals, but I know this is bad. The word about our tree gets around. There's even a picture of it in the newspaper. When Mom and Dad and I start to dig the poisoned dirt from around the trunk, the McErneys from down the road come to help. They've brought spades and work with us, packing in fresh soil. We hadn't even asked. Okay, boys and girls, I'm going to stop right now, and I would like you to make a prediction on what you think is going to happen to this tree. So if you need a little bit more time, you can pause the video and think, maybe write it down or draw a picture of what you think is going to happen. The fire department sends tanker trucks to spray water on the faded leaves. By now the top branches are bare, and Dad and Mr. McErney and Mr. Rodriguez climb up and wrap them in sacking to save them from the sun. Mrs. Jackson, who works for the telephone company, borrows poles that are as tall as our tree. She and her friends put them up and hang sunscreens between them so our tree is always in the shade. They hope with us. But leaves keep falling. Rain has helped to soak the poison in, the tree doctor says. I don't think your tree has strength left to fight. A woman comes with a red scarf she has knitted. It's as long as a jump rope. She ties it around the trunk and pats it in place. There, she says, it never hurts to muffle up. There are get well cards lined on the grass. A balloon shaped like a heart floats from a branch. Someone has brought a bunch of bluebonnets in a jelly jar and a can of chicken soup. But still the leaves fall. The birds have gone, the squirrels too. Deer used to come at night, tiptoeing down from their secret places. They don't come anymore, and the dusk is filled with silence. Is our tree dying? I asked Dad. Is that why the birds and the animals have gone? The noise around here has spooked them, that's all, Dad says. I want to believe him, but I'm scared. Cinco won't go close to the tree now either. Each night I watch from my window for the deer. If the deer come back, but they don't. One night I'm so unhappy I go to Mom and Dad's room. Their door is open. They don't see me. My mom is crying. Dad has his arms around her. A tree lives and a tree dies, Mom says, but not like this. Dad strokes her hair. Shh, sweetheart. The person who did it probably didn't mean to kill the tree. We never mean to kill the beauty in the world. We just do. I slip away to lie in my bed. My chest hurts so bad. I thought our tree would always be here, like the sky, like the fields, like my mom and dad. I was wrong. Moonlight whitens my room, and I see the big jar of acorns on my dresser. My collection! Some are old, but the ones on top I gathered just a little while ago, when the tree was well. I'm so excited I can hardly breathe. I leap out of bed and take the acorns on top. In the curl of my hand, they seem to be beating, bursting with tree life. I run to the window. I go now, but it's dark when the moon slides behind the clouds, and the outside dark still scares me. I sleep with the acorns in my hand, and I'm still clutching them warm and damp in the morning. I race barefoot downstairs. Cinco is on the porch. He lifts a sleepy head, watches while I get Mom's trowel and paces beside me, and I run across the far meadow. It has rained again in the night. The air smells of it. Wet grass and shreds of Indian paintbrush cling to my pajama legs. The dead leaves from our tree have been raked into piles, but others have fallen in the night. I rustle through them. Cinco hangs back. The tree seems to have shrunk. The top sacking hangs like wet rags. The red scarf, long as a jump rope, is loose. Mrs. Jackson took the borrowed poles back a week ago. The tree has given up. So have we. I hold the acorns toward it on the flat of my hand. I don't know, tree, I say, but maybe. Cinco helps me pace off giant steps till I'm sure we're on healthy ground. He helps me dig a little trench. I drop the acorns in, one by one, and cover them up. Don't you go making plans to come back and dig here again, I tell Cinco. If even one of those grows, we'll have a tree, big as this. I spread my arms and stand tall. Bigger, even. Cinco cocks his head. I don't know when, I answer. Someday. I stop at the tree to retie the red scarf and pat it the way the woman did. There you go, I say. It's strange. There are hardly any leaves left on the tree. But as Cinco and I are running back to the house, I think I hear a rustle behind us. I think I hear a whisper. Alice, Alice. All right. Boys and girls, was the prediction you had about your tree correct, or was it a little bit off? I know mine was a little bit off. And after the story, I think I'm going to make another prediction, and we might not know ever if we're right or wrong, but I'm predicting that maybe those acorns that they buried will start to grow a new tree. What do you think?